Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 6. You guys made it all the way. 6 weeks worth of awesome information that you guys now get to take and use in your own business. Isn't that exciting? Yay! It's so exciting! Yay! So we've talked about your concepts. We've talked about business plan. We've talked about funding for your budgets, all that good stuff, right? And we talked about marketing. Now we got to figure out how are you going to make this dream come to reality? Because it's all about the financials, right? How are you going to get the money to open your place up? And that is what we get to talk about this week. And it's such a great one. I absolutely love this week because there are so many different possibilities for you guys to choose from. That's why I love it so much. And the key part of being able to figure out what you're going to choose is you need to have your business plan set up. You need to have your concept nailed down. You need to have your marketing plan ready to go. And speaking of marketing plan, Chef Jonathan, how did everybody do in week 5's assignment?
Overall, it was really great. I love the creativity that I got to see this week. There were a lot of different marketing techniques beyond just Facebook or radio. People had some really great creative ideas, which I loved. One of the more common stumbling blocks I saw was not including your concept summary. To be perfectly honest, guys, if you're a food truck, you're going to approach marketing radically different than if you are a restaurant. Social media could play a much bigger role in a food truck and keeping people aware of where you're going to be serving at any given time than in a restaurant where you're updating them on all the wonderful specials and cool things you're doing in your location, but it's not, they don't need to constantly be looking to see where in the city you are. There are different approaches depending on what concept you are, which is why it's so important that I see that with that assignment. Another common stumbling block was just forgetting to explain why the techniques that you've chosen are the best for your concept specifically. Why is it that radio is going to reach the people that you want to reach for your business better than anything else out there, or a billboard, or whatever your marketing technique might be? And so making that connection is really important when you're presenting these marketing plans to potential investors or banks for a loan, or your family members who are having to agree to spend savings on this stuff, or however it is that you're going to go about funding. This is a big part of it, is really making that connection for these folks. Why is it that you've chosen those specific techniques?
But we're going to learn how not to ask family for money, because that's a no-no. I mean, you can, but you still want to talk to your family, right, afterwards. I would. And I don't know about you guys, but like, I love my family, but there is no way I would want my sister telling me how to run my business, like, because she gave me money. No, thank you. Especially because I'm the youngest. So that means that they're always going to tell me what I should be doing because I'm the youngest. They're used to telling me what to do. So and I'm the quietest one of the family. If you can believe that, I'm the quiet one of the family. So could you believe how much of a conversation it will be of them trying to tell me what to do if they invested in my business? No, thank you. But don't worry, you guys won't have to go that route. You'll have other multitude ways to get the money that you need. But first, before we do that and talk about all the awesome ways you guys can get money, we're going to talk about important things to remember. Remember, your late submission for this week 5 assignment is due tonight. So be certain to get that in, your late submission in, because it's due tonight. You also this is a short week. You guys got to remember that. It's always a short week. Week 6 for us in the core classes is a short week. That means everything is done by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So you have to make certain that everything is in by Sunday. Come Monday, if you say, I'm sorry, I was in the hospital, my dog died, all that kind of stuff, that's nice, but it's too late because the class is over. Yes, Nathaniel.
Yes. I still don't have a grill. What can I do for the meantime?
For
The
wait, Betty?
assignment. I don't have a grill.
Well, you don't need a grill for this class. Do you need it for your other class?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm something totally different. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Real good. Don't worry, you just need your computer for this class. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Hey, Nathaniel, can I give you a little tip about that? Nathaniel, if you can, run to a Walmart or something and buy one of those little, they're called like Little Joe's or the little hibachi charcoal grills. Or you can go and get like a flat metal, not metal, but stainless steel or cast iron was what I was thinking. Griddle plate that you can put right on your burners. Unless you got electric burners, then you'll have to find a different way. But those are a couple of options for you.
You know, it's another great option. Google. Google, how do you grill something without a grill and see what it comes up with, right?
Thank you very much. I'll talk about the other class, but thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. All right. But remember, all your makeup assignments are also due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. But get your makeup assignments and your assignment in early. That way you can resubmit, because we all want you doing fabulous in this class. But if you don't resubmit, like if you turn it in by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., you're not going to get a grade back in order to resubmit. So that's why you need to do it early. Do not procrastinate on this. Get it in early. And if you get your week 6 assignment in by Saturday at 11:59 p.m., you get extra credit. What? Extra credit? That's so great. Oh my God, thank you so much, Chef. Yes, you get extra credit. You also get extra credit if you do the survey. This delightful survey that is right here, end of the course survey. Boom, click on that. You tell us what's going on, what's up, what do we got to fix, what should we change? Because remember, as I always like to say, you can't just say that we're horrible. You have to say why we're horrible. How can we improve? Because if you learned anything in this delightful entrepreneurship class, you need to do the research and say how and why for all of the assignments that you have done. Am I right, Chef? It's all about the how and the why. He's nodding yes. And so that's why it is so important that when you do those surveys, you tell us how we can improve, how we can change things to make it a better learning experience for you. So get that stuff in early. You guys get extra credit. You do your assignment early, you get that extra 5, or you guys got 2.5% towards your final grade for turning week 5 in early. You get another 2.5% if you towards your final grade if you turn this assignment in early. If you guys do the end of the course survey, you get extra points. Say you turn something in late and you're like, oh God, that was my bad. I will put extra points to your assignment or discussion where you need it. So if you do the end of the course survey, you get extra points towards your assignments, your discussions, any of that kind of stuff where you need it most. How does that sound? Good? Bad?
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Yay. Awesome. Extra credit. So why not just get started now and get your assignment in before Saturday? That way it gives you a shot to be able to turn it back in early if you have to. So remember, those are things that we get to do to get extra points. That will benefit you. And remember, I don't want to see any late assignments because you won't have a chance to have a late assignment. It's just going to be a 0. So there is no opportunity for late assignment. And don't be like me, who was in labor on a Sunday doing homework because my homework was due on Sunday. So I was doing my homework in labor on a Sunday. Don't be like that. Get it done early. Am I right? I see Chef Jonathan's laughing. But I was that kind of pregnant lady. I was multitasking left and right. So, how to fund your business. It is all about doing the research, right? Because you guys had to do your research for your business plan. You had to do your research on your concept, figuring out your demographics so you could narrow it down to your target market for your marketing plan. Yeah, it's all about the research. Is it even feasible to do your concept in your location? That's what that delightful feasibility analysis is for, that you guys get to do the research. And as we said, avoid borrowing from family. We don't want to see you guys being like me, not wanting to be in business with your sister, being the youngest, her telling me what to do. No, you don't want that. Avoid getting money from your family, especially if you want to actually, still be close with your family. Am I right, Chef?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I love my sister to death. She's amazing. And I think it could be a wonderful working relationship. I still wouldn't want to borrow money from my sister, because if my concept tanks and my sister put her life savings into that concept, chances are that is going to be a really rocky relationship from that point forward. And so that's why I really don't borrow from family. I don't do money with family, especially for work, because if work goes south, I don't want my family life to go south.
Yeah, because that could happen very quickly. And I want you guys to also see, a good chunk of you are probably thinking, I'm just going to use my life savings. I'm going to use my life savings to turn my business. And there are other options. There's a lot of different possibilities that you guys can do. And we are going to go over all the different possibilities that you have so you can really make a good, educated, determination on what will be best for you and what is going to work out for you. So that's why I love this week. It's a fabulous week because you get to do more research. I love research. And I love this picture of the dinosaur, my little meme here. I love that one. That's why I'm so glad we get to do research again. You guys get to see that again. Now, how much money do you think you'll need? These are all averages and bases that you guys have to think about. All of those costs. How much will it cost to open a restaurant? It's usually right around here. How much is it going to cost to do a food truck? It says 28,000 here, which is possible if you live, say, like where my dear friend lives in the middle of nowhere in the country, where she can literally buy like a mansion for like $50,000. Then yes, 28,000 is feasible. But it actually, depending on your location, that $115,000 is probably more realistic. And I gave you guys, just so you are aware, there is a slew of information on this slide. So please, it's going to be on the main course page underneath the live session archive. Download all the slides that we gave you. It is a wealth of knowledge that if you don't even need it now, you will need it later. So you will have it later. So please remember to download this stuff.
No, it's good too.
And Tiffany, it is extra credit if you do your assignment by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday. So if you get in by then, by 11:59 p.m., you get extra credit. And then at least $200,000 to open a coffee shop, your bar, all of that good stuff. And if you want to do a franchise, there are a variety of different franchises that you can do. If you want to do a franchise, if you want to do Subway, McDonald's, Wendy's, any type of franchise you want to do, they have different costs associated with it. Because with a franchise, you're buying the system. Like, so for those who are unsure about opening up your own establishment, a franchise can be a great opportunity because you're buying the system, you're buying the policies and procedures, you're buying the spec sheets for all of your equipment. They provide all of that stuff for you, and they provide you guidance. So when you look at franchises, think of it like a franchise or versus a franchisee. It's a partnership because both of you are, the franchisor wants their business to grow. They want it to expand. And the franchisee wants to own their own establishment and run a business. And it's a good combination, especially for those who want to buy into a system that already has an established brand. So franchises for those is a great opportunity. Or you decide you're going to run a business, it's turning out to be very successful. Maybe now you have that opportunity to turn your business into a franchise. You have that option. You can grow it if you want to. Yes, Wayne.
Yeah, I agree with you. Franchises are fantastic, but there's also the other edge of the sword, in that when you own a franchise, they're going to send you the spec sheets. And they're going to send you the templates. And no matter what, no matter how good of a chef you are or how creative you are, there is zero room for creativity in their templates.
You are correct, Wayne. You are very, very correct, because this is definitely that entrepreneur versus intrapreneur. Because entrepreneur, you're going out, you're doing all the risk. You're taking all of the risk associated with opening up that business. An entrepreneur can be somebody who, say, gets a franchise. They don't want to have that much risk associated with it, but they can still do things and be a little bit more creative. Say, I know a lot of franchisors and franchisees, they can be very creative with their marketing plan. And the franchisor will be completely fine with that. Because they're like, oh, great, you're doing this to get the marketing. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. We will send this along. Or, if they do find something that can save time, the franchisee can let the franchisor know, and then they can decide. But remember, that franchisor, the one who put all that risk in, who built that brand, who created all those policies and procedures, they are trusting you, the franchisee, to be able to follow that system. And while you can have some creativity, you're buying into a franchise because you want that system. You want those policies in place. You don't want to think about what the spec sheet is for all of your equipment that you're going to need, because that's a long list, as you guys have seen, for the health department to know. So it definitely has its ups and downs, and it's really depending on what type of risk you want to take and how much you want to actually do. Because definitely for somebody who wants to run their own restaurant and do their own recipes and all that stuff, a franchise will not be for you. But if somebody wants to get that procedure in place, get those systems, get those recipes already, then a franchise will be for you. Yes, Aaron.
Well, the other thing about franchises too, they sometimes, especially if you got excellent credit, will also help you fund it. So that's the place to get your money. Sometimes they want you to come in with a lot of money. So it just depends on the franchise that you pick, and there's specific rules for owning their franchise.
Yeah, and there is the rules and regulations and all those policies, and there are some who will do like the regional, if you if they decide that you want to be a regional developer, they will help you become a regional developer because you're expanding into new territory. So it does take away that cost. It's like a 50-50 cost then that you guys share. So for those who are considering, if you hadn't noticed, I'm in my franchise class right now for my entrepreneurship. So I have a boatload of information about franchises right now. So, but to figure out how you're and where you're going to get that financing, we got to look at a couple of different options. And one way you can look at some of the options is doing loans. And there are a slew of loans. And I gave you guys this website in particular, and I love it because it goes over pretty much like every form of a loan that you can get. You have your business term loan, your SBA loans, line of credit, your invoicing, financing, small business startup loan, equipment financing. This thing is a slew of information for you guys to be able to go. And one of the main things I want to make certain that you guys do realize with this is you have to look at the interest rates here, because your interest rates are going to be like a credit card, right? This one for personal loan for business. Oh, my thing just froze. Did I lose you guys too? No? Okay. Okay, good. I was like, oh no, it all froze. Your personal line of business, that range is intense. It goes from 5.99% all the way up to 36% interest rate that you are paying back. That's why we say stuff like don't use a credit card, because you don't want that much interest rates on your, like, to have to pay back. You don't want to do the, there's equipment financing. That interest rate is 8 to 30%. That's a big range there. Your interest rate here, 7.9 to 19.9%. And what do you think is going to have an impact on what type of rate you're going to get? What do you think is going to actually impact that rate?
Your credit score.
Your credit score. Thank you. Because they look at everything. They look at you as a, like, how you, like, your personal information. They want to know your credit score. They want to know all of this stuff. And then if you guys also picked on this one for restaurant loans, because I like you guys so much, gave you all this cool information. It gives you this fantastic stuff that goes over, here's the best type of financing available, the equipment, inventory, lines of credit, working capital loan. What is a working capital? What do you guys think encompasses working capital?
Working capital is the capital that you're actually using for payroll and purchasing and operations on a daily basis.
Thank you, Wayne. Yes, it is. And your investors, whether it be you're getting a loan versus finding an investor, they're going to want to know what you need to actually stay in business, what it's going to take. So do you guys remember this delightful Excel spreadsheet that I showed you guys last week? Do you remember this bad boy, this Mama Jamma, where I had all of my financial startup all clearly right here? I had all the kitchen, how much that was going to cost, all of my information. I also had my monthly budget right here that showed how much money I was going to need to do all this fun stuff with my cooking school mise en place. Because your place was with us in the kitchen, right? Nobody. Aw, womp womp. I gotta change my marketing soon.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, there you go, Aaron. But you see here in my financial startup costs, I put in my working capital. You want to have around 3 to 6 months worth of working capital to keep your business afloat. This one is 6 months worth of capital. So if I don't have business for 6 months, I'm okay because I had enough money set aside to keep things going. I had enough money for rent, for labor, for all of that kind of stuff. So if I am not doing great and I'm working at a loss because I'm a brand new spanking new place, it is okay because I had 6 months worth here. You will see that range between that 3 months and 6 months. Short-term loans that cover daily expenses, Elena, yes. You can get short-term loans for quite a few things, but remember, that's where having the looking at that interest rate is really, really important. And how much you actually have to pay back and how quickly you have to pay stuff back is also important to look at. Will you be able to make those monthly payments or will you not be able to? Those are things to consider when you guys are looking at all of these great things for loans. Now we can talk about investors. How many people have watched Shark Tank? Yes, yes. Okay, Aaron, you ask your question first, and then we'll go to Wayne.
Okay, my question is, I have a buddy that owns a Euro shop. He just got decided that he was going to move to a downtown location where he could get more business. Apparently, and I don't understand the whole part of this, so maybe you can help fill in the blanks for me here, but he partnered up with Cisco, who provided him $40,000 towards restaurant equipment. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of places that you can create partnerships, but it's also that, you know, one of the places in town, the B&B I had, we grew our own grapes in the back. And we had all these like grape leaves. And one of the restaurants in town, a Greek restaurant, would use our grape leaves for their in their restaurant. So because they use their grape leaves in our restaurant, we got I said, you can have my grape leaves as long as you market that you got these grape leaves from my place. So I want my marketing, and we worked out an agreement for them getting grape leaves and me getting marketing. So it's all depending on what type of partnership you can find and how to work it. What do you need? Because you can find great partnerships. We have a great partnership here at Escoffier. Am I right? Am I right? You guys know about American Test Kitchen? Hello? American Test Kitchen? You guys? What?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, we're partnered with American Test Kitchen. That's like my dream job. Besides this, I actually really like this job. But if I was going to live back home on the East Coast in Boston without having to commute to where American Test Kitchen is, because that's a commute. That would be like, you know, this job and then like American Test Kitchen. Those are like my top two jobs, like dream jobs, like being able to just make stuff. But I don't want to deal with that South Boston traffic. There's like no way. I'm like, because it's like there's ocean and then there's highway. So you have to go highway. You can't go ocean to get home. All right, Wayne, what is your question?
Oh, it's actually more some information, and this will segue for you right into the investors. I'm actively working a couple of deals right now for a rather large operation. As I work with a couple of real estate agents on commercial property, I found out that especially in the restaurant industry, when you're looking at facilities, the firm fixed equipment, the FFE, actually has revenue or a value for pitting against a loan. So if you can work a deal with the owner of the property for a reduced rent or even a negated rent, and this is one that I did work, a negated rent for 1 year. And in trade, I build the property up. And then take the firm fixed equipment and loan against that firm fixed equipment for the build back.
Yeah, I mean, that is fantastic, Wayne, because yeah, you can do all that stuff. And I will say this too, the key part that you also said was real estate agent, because finding the real estate agent, like my husband is a real estate agent and he does both commercial and residential. And I will tell you, like, they are a gold mine for finding investors and to be able to help you maneuver and work those kind of deals. So if you get a good real estate agent, they will be able to really, really help you and be able to do like what Wayne did. And it's fantastic. Like, there is still, like, my husband, he was just like, hey, did you want to do that concept that you talked about doing before? And I was like, well, no, not right now. I'm like, not with kiddo being so young. I don't want to do another like food establishment yet. I'd rather teach. And he was like, okay, well, there's like 3 investors who are interested, just what FYI, if you felt like doing your concept. And like, he gets that like all the time. So it is a great, great way. And I was like, no, kiddo's 5. I want to enjoy his childhood while I can. And like, so those are great, great things to think about when, yeah, you're looking to try to figure out how to get money. That is a fantastic one. Nathaniel, yes.
Yes, I'm interested in going to catering. How much would I need for that?
For your catering, it really kind of depends on how big of caterings you're going to do, right? Because I would honestly say look at catering like you're looking at a restaurant, because it's not only, you may think you're like, oh, I don't need seating and like tables and chairs, but you're going to need vans and hot holding and cold holding equipment and all of that kind of stuff to make sure that you can get it there, and decor, linens, and all that fun stuff that goes along with catering vans. I know Chef Jonathan is all about the different equipment that you need for catering.
Thank you.
My best advice is to make a list and try and be as thorough as you can, and then research each cost individually. And that'll help you to come up with an estimate of how much you're going to need to start up your catering business. But with a catering business, you're definitely going to need a vehicle that can actually carry food and pass a health inspection. You're definitely going to need a commissary kitchen. You're definitely going to need hot and cold holding equipment, as Chef Rachel said. A ton of pots and pans and place settings and tablecloths, Cambros, and there's an enormous list of equipment that you wouldn't necessarily need in a more brick and mortar type location.
And then I just want to remember, guys, doing this type of spreadsheet is going to be one of the most helpful things you can do, because you may not realize how much equipment you really need until you actually put it down and show everything that you're going to need. Are you going to need 5 sous vide machines? Or are you just going to be like, I don't feel like doing a variant, so I'm not going to do sous vide? How many immersion blenders, Vitamixes? What's your menu going to look like? Are you going to need waffle makers if you're going to offer breakfast caterings? Those kind of things. And this really, really can help you figure out how much you actually are going to need. So I'm a huge fan of Excel and just writing every single thing down, because this will help you not only for your investors, but for yourself to be able to see all this stuff. So, and then if we go back to this delightful financing for you guys, remember, You have angel investors, and I find it funny that they always say angel investor because in reality, they're really not an angel. Like, so don't look at it like, oh, they're going to be so sweet and give me money. They're all investors. They all want to see their return on their investment. So remember when you're looking at this type of stuff to think about, the best type of investor you're going to have. Are you going to do better with an angel investor versus a venture capitalist versus crowdfunding? There are so many different crowdfunding now. I mean, like, throw a rock in any direction online and you see somebody crowdfunding something. I mean, like, movies have been made via crowdfunding. Restaurants can be too. And these are great places for you guys to find those investors that will be able to help you with this. But just remember, each one's going to expect a different return on investment. So like your venture capitalist, they're going to probably want to see an investment of 25% because they are taking a bigger risk. This is more of a long-term investment for them. Versus your crowdfunding. I mean, I've known people who have crowdfunded their like music, like, they made a CD and it was like, you get a free CD if you help me make the CD kind of thing. So you can be like, here's a free t-shirt or even something bigger. It really just depends. So remember when you're looking at this stuff, it really is depending on how. Be prepared to see how much money they're going to expect on their return on investment. And especially they're going to want to know your concept too. The concept's going to be really important for this stuff because that's going to help decide how much of an investment and return on investment, how much money you're going to get and a return on investment, how much they expect for it. And remember, everybody needs, and I'm saying this because I want all of you guys to know this, equity. Equity means ownership in the business. So if somebody wants equity, that means that they want to be part, like an owner with you. So that is a very important thing to remember. And you also have to do a pitch. If you're an investor, all of this information that we had you guys do in your assignment, you can use in your pitch. They expect you to make a PowerPoint slide. They expect you to do a video. They expect you to have this information and prepare it so that you can get a pitch, right?
Like Shark Tank.
Yep, exactly. Just like Shark Tank. Just like Shark Tank. And it's really, really important to have your pitch ready. And it's also important to have, because they want to know what the end game is. They want to know how much, like, what's going to happen if somebody's like, I love your concept, I want to buy it, name your price. What's that price going to be? What's the valuation of your business? What if your business isn't doing well? How long do you have to be at a loss? And how much of a loss are you going to take before you're going to call it done? Before you either sell the business or just close it down altogether. Those are all things you have to consider because you may think like, oh yeah, $5 million is going to be great. But what if you could get more? What if you could get like 20 million? Would you sell it still for 5 million knowing that you could potentially get 20? That's all part of that research that you have to do to really be able to figure out. And this link right here is going to very much help you with doing startups and looking at pitches and all that good stuff. So that link right there is for you guys. That's why this sucker is full of links. So be sure to look at all the links, because there's like 1 million of them. And part of that pitch and figuring out your investors and if they want equity in your business, you have to look at what type of business entity you are going to choose. Are you going to do a sole proprietorship? Are you going to do a partnership? Remember, there are differences when you're looking at this stuff. Do you see yourself opening up a franchise, or do you see yourself being a mom and pop shop? Choosing your business entity will help you understand what type of taxes you are going to be paying and the type of investors you will be getting. Because right here we have sole proprietorship, we have the different types of partnerships, and then we have the LLC. The LLC is your typical hybrid structure, and it is the most common that you guys will see, because with this sole proprietorship and partnership, you are still liable. If somebody falls and hurts themselves, they can sue you and get your house and all of everything you own, because they can still come at you for all of this stuff. So most people do the LLC because it gives you that protection that you need. And there are different ones you can do for corporation. If you decide you're not going to do an LLC, or you decide you're going to do a corporation, there is a boatload of different corporations that you can do. You can do a C Corp, you can do an S Corp. An S Corp, many people go between choosing a LLC or choosing an S Corp. I know a lot of people, once they figured out what an S Corp was, they went the S Corp route. I knew that if I got, say, partners or investors who wanted to invest and they were like not US citizens, they're from, like, say, the Philippines, I won't be able to do an S Corp. I'm going to have to do an LLC, because an S Corp, you have to be from the US. So knowing the type of entity you're going to do can help you decide the type of investors you may get. Because if they say, I want equity, they want to be a partner, but if that international person can't be in an S Corp, you have to decide what else you're going to choose. And remember, it's important to choose this from the beginning, because it can be very difficult. You can still do it, but it can be very difficult to change later on. So, because this is all the legal stuff that you have to figure out when you register your business. And one of the beautiful things about doing the LLC is that you can structure it differently. You can have the LLC, but then tax it like an S Corp or tax it like a partnership. You can make any of these kind of work to how you want it to be. But this is also, as you guys see, a great indication as to why you need lawyers. Some expert consultant who can help you figure out what your best bet is going to be, especially a lawyer who has done the small business in your area. They understand what needs to happen to make certain that all of this stuff is taken care of. Lawyers can help you with trademarking. You can do your own LLC, but if you wanted to have it one way and tax it another way, lawyers can help you go through all of those kind of things. So just remember, you're getting a lot of information right now. This is where hiring a consultant can be very key, because it's a lot, right? Now you also have co-ops. Co-ops are a great opportunity that you guys may have a better chance of getting into, because they operate more for the benefit of the members. It's definitely like the members are taxed once their income is in, like their income and from the co-op itself is there, but it's very, very much like nonprofits and for-profits will be taxed differently. And once again, this is where looking into the right fit for you is very important. Co-ops have a better chance of getting grants and financial assistance for those kind of things, because the government always has different co-ops that you can do. And here is a link for you guys of different co-ops from across America. So I chose this one because I felt like since you guys are all across America, we can make sure that you guys can find one that's somewhat around you. And if you click on this, you'll be able to, it will take you to what that co-op is. And this is a great opportunity for you guys to be able to get into a business and have a bunch of people and a bunch of people helping make it come together. Especially if you don't have all that knowledge that you need to run a business successfully, somebody in that co-op will. So it kind of helps you guys all help each other out in the co-op. That's kind of what's nice about having a co-op. And then there is a million links here for you guys. A million links for all different types of stuff. We got our IRS, we got the Small Business Review, we have Forbes, we have all of this stuff. And then this one I actually put in here because the guy who created it is really great, and he's super smart. And this group, he does everything. His family originally owned a farm, a dairy farm. He went to school, he got his, master's and at Michigan State, all this stuff. This place is actually located in Canada, but it's one of the nicest examples of vertical integration I have ever seen. Because vertical integration means everything is connected. So not only does he do has his farm, he has a company that does the freight to move his product to the stores. He has the feed. He didn't like the feed that was out there. He started making his own feed. So he literally goes from the food that's fed to the animals, to the products, to the stores itself. His entire company is under all of this stuff. And it's a great resource to look at. And they're located in Canada. And I mean, they have so many different, this one is Nutrivia is the holding group. And then it's just all of the other businesses that he owns under it. So it's a super cool company to look at. So if you guys are ever interested in this. And now I know this is a lot of information to take in, but remember, the key thing about this stuff is to make sure that that's why we gave you all those links. So make sure you download it. And that's why we have these slides available to you so that you can go over your assignments and you have all of this information to help you, because we don't want to see you guys just say, well, I'm going to save up money. There are options out there for you. And it's just a matter of doing the research to find what options are going to work best for you and your concept. So just remember that the possibilities are endless. You can find investors, you can find the money. It's just a matter of you putting in the time and the research to be able to do it. And this goes into this week's assignment. Am I right, Josh?
It certainly does.
That is due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. because that is the last day of class.
But you guys are going to get it in before Sunday, so you get that extra credit, right? Yeah? Anybody?
Hey,
That's a great idea. Way to go, Chef. Yeah, go, Chef.
Absolutely, Chef.
Thank you. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Is there a multiple choice test?
There is a knowledge check in week 6. Make sure you guys do take that. That's on the class page. That will be in addition to the assignment. So you need to
Okay.
do both the knowledge check and the assignment this week.
Questions for the knowledge check.
Sorry?
How many questions?
It's just within the actual lesson. So you just have to go through the lesson and it'll pop in, it'll do one section and talk about it. And then you have to take a quiz, like you have to answer the question and it'll go on to the next session. And then you just do the next question. So it's just populated within. And it's usually about like 3 or 4 questions.
Okay.
So this week's assignment, it's another one that looks deceptively easy. Just like last week, there's more to it than you might think. All you have to do is answer a few questions. I should probably actually bring that up. You guys see my screen? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, thank you, Patricia. So all you got to do is answer these questions. First up, how much money are you going to need for your concept? How am I going to know if you have a realistic estimate of the startup costs on your concept if I don't know what your concept is? So please, please, please remember the concept summary. That's a big hit to your grade, and I really don't know if you've realistically estimated how much you're going to need without that concept summary. Again, make sure to check out those slides that are going to be on the class page. They can be a tremendous help, as this was a lot of information in one quick hour. Next up is, how are you going to fund your business and why? And again, guys, the really important part is, why did you pick these funding sources? And notice that this is plural, more than one source of funding. So if you're going to have angel investors, you're also going to need something else to go with that in case those angel investors don't work out. Please do have more than one source of funding for your concept here, and talk about why this is the best option for you and your concept. With this final piece, who's going to own your business? I might say, I'm going to own the business with my wife, but that's not the end of the answer here. You also need to talk about how you're going to structure that ownership. And that goes back to that sole proprietorship, or LLC, or LLP, or S Corp, or C Corp, or whatever the case may be. I want to know how you're going to structure that ownership and why you've made that decision for your concept, for you, and why that works best. So, shouldn't be too bad, right?
And I just put on your course page those slides right now for you guys. So you have all of that information so you can make a good decision upon what you should do for the assignment and have a backup.
What if you do it by yourself? Oh, so if you are going to be the only owner, there's a lot of different ways to be the only owner of a business. You can have an LLC where you're the only owner. You can have a sole proprietorship. Make sure to check out those slides and all those different ownership structures that are there. Does that make sense?
And remember, all these things cost money too, because an LLC in Colorado costs like $75 versus in Massachusetts, which it costs $500. There are different prices associated with what type of business entity you choose and your location. So that is why it is important to know what business entity you want to do and where it's going to be located so that you understand how much it's going to cost you.
Yeah, that brings up another really good point. I'm looking for all the same detail in those concept summaries as I have the whole block. At the very least, I want to know what kind of concept you've got. Is it a restaurant, food truck, catering company? Where are you going to have it? At least city and state. When are you going to be operating? What type of cuisine are you going to serve? All of that wonderful information that you've been giving me all block. Make sure to include it here. You're right at the finish line. If you did forget your concept summary on your week 5 assignment, you can still resubmit that. Just keep that in mind. If you want to do makeup assignments, please, please, please get them in before the end of Sunday, because you won't be able to get them in after that. The course is totally closed Sunday night. Go ahead, Patricia. Oh, hang on.
I got it. I just have a question. What all did I miss at the beginning of the class? I was in the hospital. I just got home hoping to catch the assignment part of it.
Yeah, don't worry, Patricia. This live session archive, like I always put it on tonight, so you can get a hold of it and you can watch it tonight. But my slides are there, and it's just the usual. We went over week 5 assignment, and we went over how you can get extra credit, all that good stuff. So just check that out. It will be literally as soon as it goes onto Zoom and I can download it, I download it onto YouTube, and as soon as it's done on YouTube, I instantly put it on here. Because like you guys, I also have homework. My discussions are due tonight, so I am on the computer doing my homework. So that's why I have no problem putting it on right afterwards. So don't worry, it will be there, and the slides are there right now because I just put them there for you guys.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so no worries.
Do you guys have any other questions about this week 6 assignment?
Not right off, no.
Yes, sir.
Just please remember, like, download the slides, because I put so many different links and resources in there for you guys, so you would be able to take it, and you may not need it tomorrow, but you will need it eventually. So be certain to, and I hope you guys do this for all of your classes, download the slides so that you have them for later, and you have a chance to actually take it and use it and be like, oh yeah, like Chef Jonathan totally went over that, or whatever, and you'll have that backup. Yes, Elena.
Do we have to include like monies, you know, like saying how much this is going to cost, or just like saying in general, you know, how much money we're going to borrow or think of borrowing?
Yes. That's that first question. You're going to have an estimate. If it's not exact, that's okay. I know it's not going to be down to the penny exactly what it's going to cost, but I am looking for a pretty realistic estimate, and you might want to have some different things that you're thinking about with the number that you put out there, because if it's really an unusual number that I'm seeing and I don't have any idea why you picked that number, then I might be marking you down for it. Does that make sense, Elena?
Yeah, so that would, so can, will that include like the rent of the facility, or, you know, stuff like that, all that?
All that.
Yeah, because remember, when I had this delightful worksheet, I included my working capital, which includes my rent. All of this stuff, opening costs, research and development, because research and development could be your recipes, right? All of that fun stuff. It is all, hold on, let me move it over. Ta-da, there you go. It's all right there. So remember, you don't have to be this detailed, but this is, I want you guys to see this so you have an understanding of how much detail you should go into for when it's your turn to open a business. Right now you're doing a generalization for the assignment, but when it's your turn, you're going to want to know how many rolling pins you're going to need, how many ramekins, how many muffin pans, how many baking dishes, hotel sheets, cast iron stuff, because all of that stuff costs money. And this is a great way for you to really, truly understand how much money you actually need, is by writing it all down and researching it all. So remember, it is so important to write it all down. And then that way you can really, really see like, oh yeah, I do need like $50,000 worth of equipment. And it's also important to really look at it too, because maybe you're deciding between one location versus another, and then you found out that that one location already had a kitchen in it. They already have a hood vent system set up for you. They already have like a walk-in. Are you going to choose that location that has all that stuff, or are you going to choose the other one that doesn't have anything? Because hood vents are expensive. So expensive. Like, am I right? I see Wayne nodding yes. He knows.
$27,000 for a hood.
That's it? That's it for you?
pretty low, Wayne.
Yeah, I was like, dang. Like, where did
They told me I got a good deal.
Yeah, you did. Man, does that include installation?
No.
Yeah, that's got to be a big thing too. That's going to be.
Chef? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear her either.
Okay, I'm so glad it's not just me. Thank you.
No
Did you
problem.
mute her, Chef Jonathan?
That's totally my fault.
I can hear her.
I can't hear her either.
Well, while she's working on that, I just want to thank you guys for the last few blocks. I've gotten to be with you for the last 18 weeks, and it's been awesome. And you guys have been wonderful. And I am not going to be your evaluator next block. You are going to move on and hang out with Chef Jamie, who is awesome.
Can you guys hear me now?
Sorry?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. I don't know what happened. I'm like, all of a sudden, it was like, I didn't touch anything. So sorry, go continue, Chef.
I was just saying thank you to everybody in this group, and I wish you luck going forward in the program. And I can't wait to see your assignments on Saturday.
I know, yes, because it's going to be done early, right? Right?
If not, tomorrow, Saturday, for me. I got to do my final for my culinary class when I had the attack and I had to go to the emergency room.
Are you doing okay?
Tired. But I was in there for about almost 3 hours. That's all.
Oh, we'll get some
Well,
rest.
I'm going to try to.
Okay.
Thank you.
And it also has been my pleasure teaching you guys. I have enjoyed being able to share all this fun information with you guys. It has been a blast, and I hope you guys have fun in your next class, and I'm looking forward to seeing all that fun research that you guys have done and your research on your externship, right? Because you guys are thinking about that externship, am I right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I got two places. I got 2 places, and I got to find a third one to look at.
Nice. Well, yeah, it's been my honor to teach you guys. I have loved it, and I hope you guys have loved the class too.
You know, I want to kick this out for the class. It was a lesson that I learned last week the hard way. The externships. Don't let it be known you're opening your own place.
Yeah, that can make it tricky. All right.
It was a handshake and goodbye.
Yeah, you can say I have dreams of opening up my own place, like later on. That is a good one. That's a good piece of advice, Wayne. All right, guys. Well, yeah. If you have any questions, please reach out. But I'm expecting all of you to have your assignments done by Saturday. So have a fantastic rest of your week. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. I know I am. My husband and I are going to go all romantic and fall asleep. So.
Not over here. We're not doing anything. I'm sick. I just got out of the hospital. I'm not doing anything.
Yep. Nope. I'm doing homework. That's what
you trying to work on that.
Yeah. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and let me know if you have any questions.
Bye. Good night. Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.